Good afternoon, students. So, in the previous class, we have discussed about basics of computers, wherein we have discussed about the first concept, which is called as introduction to computers, isn't it? So, in terms of introduction to computers, we have discussed about what actually this particular computer stands for, and who have developed this particular computer. Charles Babbage is a scientist who have founded this particular computer in the mid 19th century, and also have discussed about the major three important operations which has to be carried out in order to perform the operation with computers. That is input, process as well as output. Also have discussed about what actually this particular input is, who is going to give the input, once the input is given, how the process is going to take place, and once the process gets completed, how the output will be displayed on the screen. Isn't it? So, and also I have discussed about the various advantages and disadvantages of computers, right? So, similarly, we have discussed about generations of computer. Here, in terms of generations of computer, I glance it once again. In terms of first generation computer, the first generation computer started in the year 1940 and it was existing up to 1956. And here, in terms of electronic circuitry, they used huge number of vacuum tubes in order to design that particular system. Along with that, they have used magnetic drums in order to store the memory. For memory purpose, they used magnetic drums, and the capacity of that particular system was huge. One system was taking an entire room for one single system setup, and it was providing lot of heat and the electricity power supply which was required for that particular system was also high, and at the same time, since the system which was designed as the first generation system, since it was huge and it was utilizing more number of components in order to develop the system, it was most expensive one. And even and this particular first generation system take the support of punch cards as punch cards as input, and it provides the output in the form of a printout by taking the support of paper tapes. Okay, this is what about the first generation computer. Whereas the second generation computer, here instead of vacuum tubes, in second generation computer, instead of vacuum tubes, we have used transistors. Transistors are replaced with vacuum tubes. Once the transistors are replaced with in the place of vacuum tubes, the size of the system got reduced. The size of the system got reduced, and at the same time, the processing speed of the system also increased. And here, in order to store the memory, we use magnetic core technology instead of magnetic drum. In first generation computer we used magnetic drum, but in second generation we used magnetic core technology, which helped us to store huge amount of data compared to first generation system. And this particular second generation system was also providing lot of heat, but the malfunctioning process was reduced because of these transistors and magnetic core technology. And here also we used inputs in order to input the data, we used punch cards, and in order to get the output, we used magnetic tapes, which we call as paper tapes. Paper tapes are those which are used for printing the output of the system. Whereas in terms of first generation computer, we used low level language for performing a set of operations. In terms of second generation computer, we used low level language as well as assembly level language in order to perform the set of operation based upon the requirement of the user. Okay, so the next generation here is third generation computer. So in terms of third generation computer, transistors are removed and they have replaced transistors with ICs, which we call as integrated circuits. These integrated circuits are those which are minute and crystal oriented circuits which are embedded with thousands of transistors inside it. It contains thousands of transistors inside one single chip, which is called as integrated circuits. You can see that particular diagram here. This particular, the first figure indicates an integrated circuits, where these integrated circuits are embedded with n number of transistors where this particular integrated circuit helped us to reduce the size of the system bit more compared to second generation system. Whereas when it comes to the memory point of view, here also we used magnetic core technology, which is represented in the second figure. Magnetic core technology, in order to store the data and in order to retrieve the data, we use magnetic core as a memory slot in order to perform a specific operation. Okay, so the next year, the main important agenda of this particular third generation computer is, in terms of second generation computer, we used punch cards as well as paper tapes for inputting and outputting the operation. But in terms of third generation computer, from third generation itself, we have came across with the specific word which is called as a monitor as well as keyboard. What is a monitor here? Monitor is a display system, or a monitor is an input device of your computer which displays the output on the monitor screen. Whereas keyboard is an input device. Monitor is an output device, keyboard is an input device. Monitor helps us to see the output, whereas keyboard helps us to input the data based upon the requirement of the user. So in terms of third generation computer, from third generation onwards, we came across with monitors as well as keyboard in terms of our computer system. Till then, we were not having any sort of monitor or any sort of keyboards in our technology when it comes to first generation and second generation. Whereas in terms of third generation computer, in order to input the data, we used keyboards instead of punch cards in third generation. We used keyboards in order to input the data to our system, as well as in order to see the output of the system. In order to see the output of the inputted data, we use monitors, where monitors are those which acts as an output device in order to see the output on the screen of a monitor. And similarly, in terms of third generation computer, we used an operating system in order to operate with the system. Like you might have observed, in terms of any of your system or any of your mobile, operating system is one which plays a very important role. Operating system acts as a mother of all other application softwares. Operating system acts as a mother of all other application softwares. So here, when it comes to the mobile point of view, if I speak, mobile came with an Android as an operating system. Similarly, Windows has an operating system. If I want to open a WhatsApp application, then operating system, which is called as Android, must be supportive to that particular application. So if it is supportive, then only that application will open and it will help you to move further with the remaining operations which your people are going to carry out in terms of WhatsApp. So similarly, in terms of third generation, from third generation onwards, an operating system came into existence wherein it helped the user to perform different operations by providing different inputs at a specific time. And the speed of the system also increased. This particular third generation computer used structure-oriented programming language, which we call it as C language. From third generation onwards, C language came into existence. That is nothing but C language is considered as a structure-oriented programming language, and also they used COBOL. COBOL is also one of the software application which we use to write a program based upon the type of problem statement which we are going to get. Depending upon the problem statement, there are different types of statements which we will be writing in the program. So that particular statements can be written by taking the support of either C language or COBOL language in third generation computers. As I said you, as soon as we removed transistors and integrated circuits, the size of the system got reduced and the power consumption also reduced, and the heat generation is also reduced, as well as the cost of the system in third generation got reduced. And this particular third generation computer was founded in the year 1964 and It was existing till 1971. Later, this in fourth generation system, fourth generation computer, these integrated circuits are replaced by microprocessor chips. Integrated circuits are replaced by microprocessor chips, and this microprocessor is a one which is embedded with thousands of integrated circuits. In terms of third generation, an integrated circuit has been used, where this integrated circuit is made up of thousands of transistors, okay, whereas this integrated circuit is embedded, thousands of integrated circuits are embedded in this microprocessor chip. This microprocessor chip is a one which also helped us to reduce the size of the system compared to the previous edition, compared to the previous third generation computer. Microprocessor chip helped me to get more reliability as well as low power consumption. At the same time, the speed of the system was drastically changed compared to the third generation computer. And similarly, as in terms of third generation, we used keyboard as well as monitor. In order to input, we use keyboard. In order to get the output, we used monitor. Similarly, in the same fashion, in the fourth generation also, we used monitor as a display device which acts as an output. And in terms of this fourth generation computer, we started using object-oriented programming language as well as a database connectivity system which is called as SQL. What this SQL is? Structured Query Language. SQL stands for what? Structured Query Language. What this structured query language does is, it helps us to design and develop the database based upon the requirement of the companies. Like for example, if you take an example of your banks. Bank is maintaining your account, right? So how they are maintaining? They are maintaining your account by taking the support of your account number, your name, as well as your address, as well as by taking the support of an unique identification number of your internet banking account or any other phone pay account or anything nowadays which they are using with. So how these particular transactions are maintained? Like when you debit an amount from the ATM, automatically the amount from your account gets reduced and it shows that the current balance of you is so and so. So how it is going to happen? This is possible by taking the support of an SQL database. SQL database is a one which helps you to monitor and store the data in an appropriate manner according to the need of the user as well as the corporates. So in terms of fourth generation system compared to third generation and fourth generation, in third generation we used integrated chips as an electronic circuitry instead of transistors. But in terms of fourth generation, we used microprocessor chips rather than integrated circuits. Microprocessor chip is one which is made up of thousands of integrated circuits. And this particular microprocessor chip helped the developer to increase the speed of the system and reduce the size of the system. Also, it helped us to consume less power and provide reliable output. What is reliable? Reliability is nothing but proper output within the specified time. Reliability speaks about if a system provides and proper output within the specified time, then that particular system is considered as a good system or a system which is more efficient. So this particular output is obtained by taking the support of microprocessor chips. And here also we used keyboard as an input and keyboard for inputting the data and monitor for seeing the output of inputted data. Similarly, as I said you, the cost also reduced and also the size of the system also reduced. And here we used object-oriented programming language, which is the second programming language of C. After C, C++ came into existence. C++ is nothing but it is an object-oriented programming language. So that particular language came into existence in the year 1971. Till date, the same object-oriented programming language is also used in some of the companies. Similarly, SQL. SQL is a structured query language which is used to design and develop the databases based upon the requirement of the companies. Whereas the fifth generation, in fifth generation, what is the difference between the fourth generation and fifth generation here is, in terms of fifth generation, instead of normal microprocessor chip, here we have used large microprocessor chip or ultra large microprocessor chip. What is large microprocessor chip or ultra microprocessor chip is? It is the one which is embedded with n number of minute microprocessor. Once you use this particular n number of microprocessor in a single chip, where that particular chip is considered as ultra microprocessor integrated chip, where this particular ultra microprocessor chip helps us to increase the speed of the system still more compared to the fourth generation. And these particular systems, fifth generation systems, are majorly used in maintaining used data. Similarly, these systems are used for designing and developing the robots, maintaining, comparing, retrieving the various information from the customers as well as from the providers. There are different types of major applications which we can run by taking the support of this fifth generation computer, like rocket launching the rockets, similarly designing and developing the rockets. There are different types of major operations which are carried out in scientific industries. They take the support of this fifth generation computer. And this fifth generation computer, just a small change here is, instead of microprocessor chip, we are using ultra microprocessor chip for electronic circuitry, and we used magnetic circuit for memory purpose. And the speed of the system will be very high, 10 times higher than that of fourth generation computer, 10 times higher than that of fourth generation computer. And here, as I said you, as I specified in this particular point, it responds to the natural language. What actually this particular natural language is? See, natural language is nothing but the language which we speak, whether it may be in terms of English or Kannada, or whether it may be in Hindi or any other mother tongue language. Managing that particular language and comparing, like one best example that I can tell you is converters or translators. You might have seen there are some translators when you go to Google, like convert Kannada to Kannada to English translator. If you type this particular word in Google, it will provide you two columns, where one column is meant for Kannada and the other column is meant for English. Whatever that you type in the first column, in Kannada, that will be converted to English in the second column. Translation of your language to another language. Similarly, translation of rupees to dollars or dollars to rupees, translation of kilometers to millimeters, and so on. There are different types of operations which we can carry out in terms of this natural language processing. Similarly, voice recognition. Nowadays we are seeing like mobile is embedded with face recognition, fingerprint recognition, similarly voice recognition, which you have seen in terms of your robo film, isn't it? So all these particular processes are possible with the support of this particular word, which is called as artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence with machine learning is one of the most emerging trend nowadays in the industries. And this particular artificial intelligence helps us to design and develop different types of major projects which are most helpful for the society. So this is what about the fifth generation computer. And this fifth generation computer, they also used this fifth generation computer in military sections. In order to, like in terms of military section, the sensors will be placed in different places, in various borders. And in order to sense that particular sensors, they will be using this fifth generation computer by sitting in some other place, and they will be identifying, is there anyone who is visiting towards our border, or is there anyone who is trying to attack our border. Like all these particular operations can be carried out by taking the support of this fifth generation computer. Okay, and this type of computers are more confidential and more secure and well managed in order to maintain different criteria depending upon the type of projects that you are going to carry out. So this is what about the fifth generation computer is. Okay, so in generations of computer, there are 5 different types. In the first generation, we used vacuum tubes and magnetic drums, vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory. Similarly, for inputting, we used punch cards and paper tapes. Whereas in terms of second generation, instead of vacuum tubes, we used transistors here, and instead of magnetic drums, we used magnetic core technology for memory purpose. Similarly, in terms of input, we used punch cards and paper tapes, where we call it as magnetic tapes, in order to get the output. Similarly, for third generation, we used integrated circuits instead of transistors, where integrated circuits are those which are made up of n number of transistors. And this whereas in terms of, in order to input the data and in order to get the output, instead of punch cards and paper tapes, we used keyboards and monitors. And here, from third generation onwards, operating system came into existence. And this operating system helped us to perform different operations easily and parallelly. And here we used structure-oriented programming language. Similarly, for fourth generation, microprocessor chips were used, and we used keyboards and monitor in order to perform the operation. And here, object-oriented programming language and SQL database came into existence. And the fifth generation, it is made up of ultra microprocessor chip, where this ultra microprocessor chip helps us to perform different operations at different places, depending upon the type of project, that we carry out. Okay, so this is about fifth generation of computer, and this is what about the generations of computer. So if you have any doubts regarding this, what is computer, advantages and disadvantages of computer, as well as generations of computer, you can feel free to ask me by raising your hands, or you can drop a message to chat box. Middle picture. Which one, sir? Navin Gowda? Which one? Which middle picture? From which generation? Middle one, like I think from third generation. From third generation, we are using magnetic core technology for memory management. See, in terms of fifth generation, we are using magnetic core technology. Similarly, here also magnetic core technology. Here also from second to fifth generation, we are using magnetic core technology. Only in first generation, we used magnetic core, magnetic drum technology. Okay. So, any other doubts? Any doubts that you people are having? Understood the concept, everyone? So in third generation, print is nothing but in third generation we are using monitors to see the output instead of printing. We are using monitors to see the output. Yeah, Navin Gowda. Please, your voice is not audible, Navin Gowda. If your voice is not audible, can you try to send me a message through chat box if you have any doubts? So any other doubts from your end, my dear students? If not, I will move further with the next concept. No doubts, right? Okay, fine. So the next concept here is types of computers. Here there are different types of computers which are classified depending upon the size and speed of the systems. Depending upon the size and speed of the computer system, there are the computers are broadly divided into four different types. One is supercomputer, second one is mainframe computer, third one is mini computer, and the fourth one is macro computer. What actually these particular supercomputers are? See, supercomputers are those which are faster and most expensive one. These supercomputers are those which are faster and most expensive one, and these are the computers which are having large, which are bigger in size, at the same time have multiple CPUs which can accept n number of instructions at a time. Thousands of instructions can be passed to the system at a time and ask it to get the work done. So these particular supercomputers are those which are faster and most expensive computers here. And these systems are larger in size and have multiple CPUs which can handle many instructions in parallel. These supercomputers are majorly used for weather forecasting, nuclear science operations. Nuclear science operations are nothing but designing and developing the nuclear bombs or maintaining the structure of nuclear-oriented databases and so on. Similarly, rocket launching. In order to perform these operations like weather forecasting, nuclear science, as well as rocket launching and so on, they are using these supercomputers. And the best example of supercomputers are SUMET. You can see the first figure here is, the first figure stands for SUMET. What this particular SUMET is? SUMET is the one which is designed and developed by Dell company in order to maintain huge amount of data which they are getting from their client side. Similarly, and this is a Deep Blue, which we call it as Deep Blue, is also an IBM oriented project or a database or the computers which can handle multiple instructions at the same time and provide the output back to the user within a fraction of seconds. And these are the different examples which we can come across with these supercomputers. Supercomputers are those which are more complex in nature and provides us a very good result when it comes to the large complex problems solving. And these particular computers are those which are most powerful in nature and have high processing speed. Since it is having high processing speed, it can accept n number of instructions at a time and it can provide you the output within a fraction of time. The best examples for supercomputers are, it can be used for weather forecasting, nuclear science projects, as well as rocket launching and locating the rockets. Okay, and these are the systems which are majorly used for complex oriented problems. So the next type here is mainframe computers. What actually this particular mainframe computers compared to supercomputers? See, mainframe computers are also those which are huge in size and more complex and have high processing speed, and it can also handle huge amount of data. But compared to supercomputers are those which are used for weather forecasting, nuclear science, rocket launching and so on. But mainframe computers are majorly designed for handling the data, handling the huge amount of information and data which are either in the form of structured format or unstructured format. Compared to supercomputers, mainframe computers are also huge in size with high processing speed and it can also handle n number of instructions at a time. But the difference between supercomputers and mainframe computer here is mainframe computers are majorly used for maintaining the database of maintaining the huge data. Here there are two types of data that we can come across with. One is structured data and the other one is unstructured data. So what is structured data and what is unstructured data? One best example that I can tell you here is the message which you are going to pass through WhatsApp, or the message that you are going to pass through an email, the message that you are going to pass through using a messenger are considered as unstructured data. Similarly, whatever that you are seeing here in the slide, this particular information which I have represented in the slide is also in an unstructured format. So maintaining unstructured data is an toughest task in the industry. So converting the unstructured data and into unstructured data and maintaining the things can be obtained or can be done by taking the support of these mainframe computers. Okay, and these mainframe computers are those which are majorly used for handling the huge amount of data or the information, and these computers perform multiple instructions in parallel from multiple users. N number of users can send as soon as, for example, best example that I can tell you here is WhatsApp application is a one. I am giving you an example. It is not, application is not a computer. Okay, WhatsApp application is a one which is meant for n number of users, isn't it? So when I press WhatsApp application, it doesn't give you the information that there are some other people who are using the WhatsApp application. Your time schedule will be informed you later. Like, it is not one to one, it is one to many. It indicates what n number of users can use that particular application at the same time. Similarly, here also n number of users can send multiple number of instructions to the system in order to perform a specific task. Okay, and it is also most expensive and faster, but not faster than supercomputer. Not faster than supercomputer. And these systems are those which are used in corporates, which is nothing but an IT industries, airports, colleges, colleges and so on. The best example for this particular mainframe computers are IBM Z. IBM is a company which has designed and developed this mainframe computers, and they have named that particular mainframe computers as IBM Z. IBM Z is a name which has been given by the IBM company for the system which has been developed by them. And that particular system is nothing but a mainframe computer which can handle huge amount of data at a time, and it can provide you it can accept multiple inputs from multiple users and provide you the output in a specified time. It is also speed in it is also having a high good speed rate. At the same time, the memory location of memory storage also huge, but less compared to supercomputers. So this is what about the mainframe computers. Whereas the next computer here is mini computer. See, mini computer is also called for mini computer we also called as am I not audible, Praveen? Please reply. Am I not audible to you people? Yeah, fine. So when it comes to the next type of computer, we have mini computer. Mani, I will come back to you. To answer your queries once I complete with this concept. Okay. Mini computer. What actually these particular mini computers are? Mini computers are also called as mid-range servers. We also call them as mid-range servers. These computers come in between. These computers come in between mainframe computers and macro computer. These computers came in between macro and mainframe computers. These computers are typically used for multi-user system and have more memory with large storage capacity compared to macro system but less compared to mainframe computers. Keep this in mind. These computers typically it is also of multi-user system. But the speed of the system, as well as the processing nature of the system, as well as the storage capacity of the system is larger than that of macro computer compared to mini frame computer. It is less. Compared to mainframe computers, it is very less. Whereas when it compares to macro computer, it is more. Size, storage capacity, handling the instructions from multiple users, everything is fine when you are comparing your mini computer with macro computers. Okay, and these particular computers are those which are majorly used for web servers. And maintaining the database and designing the databases, and it can also be used for gaming servers as well, and so on. And the best example for this particular mainframe computers, mini computers are Magnum and VAX. These are the computers which was designed by some of the companies as a mini computer, and they renamed that mini computers as Magnum and VAX. Okay, so the last and foremost type of computer here is microcomputer. It is also called as macro computer. We can also call it as macro computer. So what actually this particular microcomputers are? Microcomputers are typically it is of single CPU, single user system, which is used at homes, schools, shops. They can be further classified as personal computers or laptops or mobiles or workstations. Whatever the computers that we are using today, whatever the mobiles that we are using today, those systems are also considered as microcomputers. What is the use of these microcomputers are? Microcomputers are those which are having a limited speed with limited storage capacity, and it can handle one instruction at a time. It can't handle multiple instructions from the user at a time. Instead, it can handle one instruction at a time, and it can provide you the specific output based upon the instruction given by the user. Okay, here there are the examples are personal computers, that is nothing but your desktops or laptops or some workstations which we call it as radio stations. Those stations are also considered as workstations. Similarly, mobiles are also considered as microcomputer. These are least and less power capability of handling huge amount of data at the same time. And these particular systems, the microcomputer systems, are those which are meant for one user with one instruction at a time. Okay, so this is what about the types of computers. Here there are 4 different types of computers. One is, as I said, the supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, as well as microcomputers. And this is what about the types of computers are. Okay, understood? Understood everyone? Types of computers, there are 4 different types. One is supercomputers, which is mother of all other computer. Mainframe computer is the mother of other computers, whereas mini as well as microcomputers. So any doubts in this particular regard? Like there were some students who were raising the hands, right? Yeah, fine. Money. What is your question, Money? I will send, don't worry about notes, I will send it to you. Okay, notes, I will send it to you. And I will give one small assignment to you people today in the chat box itself. Get ready with that particular assignment. Okay. I will send you the question now itself. Define computer. Explain the various applications of computer in detail. This is one question to you people, which you have to answer, which you have to get ready with that particular answer before the next class. Okay, I may ask anyone to show that particular paper, or I may ask you to explain in front of others also. Okay, this is question one, and the question two here is list and differentiate between generation of computers. Generation of computer in the table format. In table format only. I want you to go ahead with these two questions. Okay, define computer and explain the various applications of computer in detail. Applications are nothing but where this particular computer systems are used. Okay. Similarly, the next question here is list and differentiate between generations of computer in table format only. Okay. Everyone are fine? Is there any doubts? First question is, I have sent you the question, I have typed the question. Define computer, question mark, explain the various applications of computer in detail. That is the first question. Second question is, list and differentiate between generations of computer in table format. You have to write the assignment in assignment book. I think assignment book is not they have not given you it, right? So, so it is not available in the society till I think so. So until you get that particular book, write it in A4 size sheet. Write it in A4 size sheet and scan that particular document and send it to me. Write in A4 size sheet, scan the document and send that particular document to me through WhatsApp. Okay, and keep that particular papers with you. Don't no, in WhatsApp, sir, in WhatsApp group, CPS group, in our CPS group. Okay. Rana, you got your question, you got my question, right? Yes or no? Okay, fine. Okay, then any doubts of today's class? Or else, or you people are clear with all the concepts which I have spoken to you? I will share that particular question once again in WhatsApp, don't worry. Kotesh, it is at the top of your chat box. You can see that particular question at the top of your chat box. Or else if you want, I will send the question once again in WhatsApp also. Okay, fine. Hope everyone understood the concepts. Let us wind up the class today and we can meet on Monday again with your assignment submission. First, you have to submit your assignments. You have to explain. I will ask any one person, any one or two students to explain about this particular applications as well as generations of computer, and later I will be moving further with the remaining concepts of this particular chapter. Okay. So shall we wind up the class? Okay. Happy New Year once again. Happy New Year everyone and all the best for your future. Fine. Thank you.